Hey guys. So I was bored and I had some cardboard outside, so I decided to make a plague doctor mask. I kind of wanted to record like me actually making the mask part with the cardboard, but honestly I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. And I didn't want like a camera to just kind of see me fumbling about for like an entire day. Actually kind of 2 days because I actually kind of messed it up. and then and yeah, and I messed it up, and then I literally had to destroy most of it to fix fix it again. So you're not really gonna be seeing you're not actually gonna be seeing me make like do the cardboard, like actually like constructing that part. You're just gonna see me like kind of like finishing it off, like me painting it and stuff. But I did kind of want to mention how I actually made it, so that way if you want to try and make this, you can go ahead. Again, I'm sorry I did not record it. I did want to record it, but it would have just been me fumbling around with cardboard a bunch and like not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. So, okay. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously get some cardboard. Luckily for me, I had some cardboard already, so I didn't have to go to the store. Although it was outside, so I did still like disinfect it a little bit. Basically, all I did was I just sprayed it with like Lysol. Okay, and once I have the cardboard, the first thing I did was I measured my face. It sounds weird, but basically what I did is that I got the height and then also the width. It was a little bit hard to do it by myself because I couldn't exactly tell very well where the ruler ended. So I had to ask my mom for help. In case you're wondering what the measurements were, it is 9 inches in length and 8.5 inches in width. Obviously, it might be different for you because, like, I don't know if your face is shaped a little bit differently. And then once I got the measurements, all I had to do was I made like a little T onto the cardboard, and then I used that as a base for where the face is. I just drew an oval, and then all I had to do was cut it out. After I cut it out, what I did is that I took the back of the face plate and I just scored it up. Basically, what that means is like I just took the box cutter and I just scratched up the backside. Obviously, you're not going to want to cut all the way through, but like just enough to where it makes it easier to bend. After that, I just kind of roughly figured out where the eyes were going to be. Something you can take from drawing is that like your eyes are generally in the middle of your face always, so you can use the line for the 8 as a little measuring spot of where your eyes are roughly. And I just kind of cut out some circles. I wanted to make goggles for the mask, so I actually found these foam cups that like had that had a very similar look to goggles. And I didn't really do this. It wasn't until like later. But something that I will say I've learned from my mistakes. Use the goggles as a guideline for where you're going to put the size of the eye hole. Sorry, I can't get that word out. Although make sure you have enough room for like the lid of the cup to hold on to, so don't cut it fully around like the circumference of the cup outside. Try and do it more like the circumference from the inside of the cup. I don't know how that makes sense. I'm sorry that doesn't make sense, but that's the best way I can describe it. After that, you're gonna want to work on the beak. How I did the beak was that I kind of made just some triangles, but like the only difference is that like they're like curved a bit. And also it was the same like where the face goes, like it's a little bit curved inwards to try and like fit like the face shape a little bit better instead of it being like just completely flat on all ends. to attach the beak, what I did was I put both sides of the beak at an angle, and I had them like touching each other at like the point in the middle. But then, oh, actually, sorry, I almost forgot. Before you attach the beak to the mask, you're gonna want to score it again, like you did the face plate. I'm gonna call it a face plate because I can't think of another word for it. Like the face plate, you're gonna score it so that way you can. You're gonna curve the beak a little bit, so that way it kind of conforms to the shape of your face a little bit better. And then all you gotta do is just kind of glue it. And if you also want, you can also use just like duct tape or like any kind of tape, just like as some extra support. Other thing that like you can do, that I did, but you probably don't really have to do. But like I kind of wanted to, is that like I made another little triangle for the bottom of the beak. Because if not, like it would have just kind of had like an opening from the bottom up. But I kind of didn't really want that, so I just kind of put the beak on like where the cardboard was, and I just kind of roughed out what the shape of it would be, and I scored it to kind of make it like bend, like kind of like it's hidden, so it's not like just flat, but it's kind of like inside of the beak a little bit, and you can like it bends a little bit down. Because like the end of the beak is kind of facing a little bit downwards too. Oh, and also along with the curving it to the shape of your face, you're also going to be like kind of pushing the two pieces of the beak towards each other. Because at least when I did it, I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but like they were just kind of like two separate triangles, just kind of facing straight. So you're basically going to need tape for this. Which tape is like probably the best option for this part. You're going to tape the beaks together so that way it's fully connected at the very top of the beak, and it should all end into like a point that is kind of facing a little bit down, like it's not just flat all the way, but like the beak is like a little bit downwards. So, after I added the beak, I kind of realized a pretty big flaw in the mask I had just made. So basically what happened is that I didn't leave any room for my nose. So what happened was that like it turned out that the mask was just too flat. I thought like when I curved it like curves to a point where like it sticks out a little bit, but no. Apparently I didn't. And so what resulted was that I had nowhere to put my nose. So I ended up cutting like the inside of where the beak to where the inside of the beak is, like where it's not where the cardboard is. So that way I had room for my nose and my chin. And that kind of solved the problem a little bit. Not fully, but but it did help. So what I did after placing the beak onto the faceplate and also cutting out the eye holes, this is when I added the goggles. Like I said, the goggles were basically just foam cups. So basically what I did is that I just cut the foam cups up to about here, and it was just like the perfect shapes to at least make it look like it's an actual goggle. And then after this, what my original plan was that I was gonna use straps to like tie it off to my face. But like there was some issues going on already with like the beak, like the mask wasn't staying in a position where it formed to my face correctly. Like it just, even though I had already I did curve it before I added the beaks, it just wasn't working for some reason. And so at this point I had to stop because like I didn't know what to do. And then after I took a while, I tried looking up tutorials. It turns out a lot of tutorials use foam paper instead of cardboard. And I was kind of worried that I had to restart this whole project, but now it's foam. But I figured it out in the end. So, but yeah, if you want a better tutorial, Go look. I'm pretty sure there are better ones than what the fuck I'm doing. So after trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do, I realized that something that could probably help would be making a crown of sorts. So basically, what a crown is what you do is you like get strips of cardboard and you just wrap it around your head, and then you just kind of glue it or tape it to the side to like where it fits your head. So that's basically what you do. That's like the first thing you do, and then afterwards, what you have to do is that you do. Well, usually you're supposed to do 2. I only ended up doing 1. So what I did is like I got another strip of cardboard, and I kind of did this something similar, but this time instead of wrapping it around the circumference of my head, I just kind of did the dome part, if that makes any sense. So basically I just kind of I did that. I glued it on, and then I taped it a little bit just to make sure it's extra secure. So once I got done with the crown, I took the mask and I basically just kind of I just placed it on top. I didn't glue it or anything yet. I just kind of placed it on top and moved it around until it got into a position where I can see out of it, and the opening of the beak is where it's comfortable on my nose. And then after I had figured that out, all I had to do was just kind of I just kind of marked where the top bit of the crown is relevant to the faceplate. There's a little line, and then I used that as a measurement a marking to figure out where I need to glue the mask onto the crown. And because I did it I did the crown, it made it easier to fold the mask into a way where it actually kind of curves a bit to my face. So that solved the problem, and and I was like, oh, hooray, I've solved it. Until I realized that the beak was making the mask so heavy that it was tilting the entire thing forward. So now it's a problem of weight, and I was like, okay, should I use foam paper to replace the beak? Or what do I do? So what I ended up doing was I just used some scrap pieces of cardboard, and I just kind of glued them on to the back of the crown, using the top part of the crown as a little bit of adhesive to the back of it, to the back strip of it. And it only took 3 scrap pieces of cardboard, and it kind of solved the weight problem a little bit. Which honestly I was kind of surprised. I didn't think it was going to work, but it actually did. So after all that, I finally have my mask done, and I finally have the base of my mask done, and all that's left to do now is paper mache. So to do paper mache, this is just how I was taught, but what I do is I just kind of get some glue and I just water it down a little bit. I just add just a little bit of water. I do know that you can also do paper mache with flour and water, an equal mixture of them. I was going to do that, but the thing is, I was kind of worried about ants, but I don't know. I mean, if this is what most people do, I feel like that's not really an issue. But like I said, how I was taught was to use glue and water, and that's it. So to do paper mache, you're gonna get some newspaper and your watered down glue, in my case, and you're going to rip up the paper and you're just gonna dump it into the glue and just wrap it around your mask. And you're going to want to do this for the entire mask. Although I will say that I didn't put any glue around the goggles because the cups were such a good shape for them. They even had those little ridges. And I just thought it was perfect. So I just avoided it. Although I did put some paper around the bottom of it just so that way it can kind of blend in a little bit more easily. I also added some paper mache to a little bit of where the faceplate ends and where the crown begins. I didn't wrap the entire crown, and mainly because I'm gonna wear this with a hood, and so the crown isn't really gonna be shown when I wear the cape or the hood. Sorry. Oh, one thing I do want to mention is that like while I was doing the paper mache, I also had a hair dryer just to make it dry up a little faster because I just really wanted to get. I've been working on this for a while, and I kind of just really wanted to get it done once I was like kind of pretty close to finishing this project. Okay, so now that you have your mask covered in newspaper and it's fully dry, we're going to start painting. I kind of started putting some gesso on one side of the beak, but then I realized I was going to paint this dark brown, so it really wouldn't need gesso. I think you would only need gesso if you were doing a lighter color, just to make sure you can't see any of the newspaper under the paint. The colors I used were Master Touches, Raw Umber, and I also mixed that with Nutmeg Brown by Apple Barrel. How I mix the colors is that I used mostly Nutmeg Brown, and then I added a drop of Raw Umber because I wanted it to be dark, but I didn't want it to be too dark. I was kind of going for like a leathery look to it. And I think it worked out a lot better than if I were just to have used the raw umber fully. I think it would have been a little bit too dark. And we're just gonna cover almost the entire mask with this paint mixture. For the goggles, what I used was Folk Arts Sterling Silver. I really like the metallics. I have two, one in silver and one in gold. I will say if you are going to get the Folk Art metallic paint, in my experiences, they take multiple layers to fully cover. Lucky for me, I was using a white foam cup, so technically I could have gotten away with using only one layer of the silver, but I just wanted to make it pop out a little bit more, so I added 2 layers. Also, like the same with the newspaper, I didn't put any paint on the crown of the mask, only in the pieces of newspaper that were actually on the crown, but after that I didn't really add any paint there. now we're done. I actually like how it turned out, even though it kind of was a little bit of a pain in the ass to make. But through sheer stubbornness, I finally finished it. Let this be a lesson. If it ain't working out, just keep trying. And here is a picture of me wearing the mask and a little makeshift costume. I honestly wasn't really planning on making this a full costume. I just wanted to make the mask. But now I'm kind of thinking I might just kind of do a full Plague Doctor costume. Who knows? Maybe if Halloween is a thing this year, I might just wear it. Or I'll just go up and down my neighborhood with this and a sign saying, "Stay inside." Or who knows? Maybe I'll wear. Maybe if next year's Comic-Con happens, I'll probably wear it there. Or not like San Diego Comic-Con, like my local's Comic-Con. But yeah, it turned out pretty great. Well, I hope this video helped you out if you decide to make your own mask, or if not, at the very least, it was entertaining. If you do decide to make one, I would totally love to see them. You can tag me on my Twitter, link in the description. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.